Grandpa Keto here. Welcome to Keto Over 60. Today we're going to be talking about 3 keto mistakes that most people make, especially those over 60. And you know what? Let me tell you, in life we learn lessons, and we learn lessons every day, and I think I'll be learning until the day I die. And the way we learn those lessons most of the time is the hard way. You know what I'm saying? We mess up, we learn our lesson the hard way, and we move on. Anyway, today I'm going to help you with 3 keto mistakes that it seems like people make, and especially us over 60. If you'll hang with me and get down there to number 3 is a big one. Anyway, let's get started. Keto mistake number 1, starting too fast. You know, this is one of the big ones. You know, our metabolisms are different. Our lifestyles are different than those who are in their 20s, 30s, 40s. And we have to understand that. So, a lot of times we already start out dehydrated. Our metabolism's different, and as we age, we find out that we drink less water. I found that out the hard way. Going to my primary care physician, they're always asking me, Roger, how much water do you drink? And when I tell them, they say, you need to drink more, especially now. And we find out that older people going on the ketogenic diet, sometimes they're already dehydrated before you get on it. And what happens is when you first go on it, you're going to lose a lot of water weight. It's not uncommon for people to lose 5 to 8, 10 pounds of water weight that first week. And if you're already dehydrated, that's going to make the situation even worse. So what do? We plan ahead. And when we start, instead of starting out at that 20 grams of carb, why not start at 100 grams or 75 grams and begin and work our way down to 20 or 30 grams of carbs? I lose weight well at 30 grams of carbs a day. I maintain, when I get down to maintenance, I maintain really well between 30 and 50 carbs a day. So why not dial it down slowly? And that way we take the water off slower. And on top of it, you know, it gives us an opportunity to get started on the right foot. Start out by hydrating. You know, make sure you're getting in 8 glasses of water a day at least. Make sure you're drinking some broth. You know, I tell you, my go-to is a couple beef broth, cups of beef broth every day. And I drink those, I make those with bouillon cubes, 8 ounces of water, one bouillon cube. I drink it twice a day. And then, even then, you know, you may find yourself being a little sluggish, a little tired, a little fatigued, maybe a muscle cramp. If that sets in, then you're going to want to supplement your electrolytes. Something like LMNT. You can get that at any grocer that sells drink mixes. So you can consider that. So the first point is starting too fast. So we got to slow down and realize, hey, I didn't gain this weight overnight. Hey, my body didn't get in this shape overnight. I am over 50, over 60. I got to take my time. I got to do this right so that this will be sustainable and so that I won't have all these problems. Because I tell you what, I would much rather start at 75 carbs or 100 carbs and work my way down, and in the process avoid the keto flu. Because if you've never had the keto flu, a lot of people quit the minute they get the keto flu. Fatigue, headache, body aches, and you don't want that. So consider that. Consider starting out slow at a few more carbs and get your foundation solid. Okay? Number 2, and this is a big one. This is one that I struggled with a little, and that is not getting enough fat or protein. Okay, so you got to have the fat, right? You got to have the fat because with the fat, your body, that's what ketosis is about. We're turning our body into a fat burning machine. And instead of fueling our body with carbohydrates, we're fueling our body with fat. And then our liver produces ketones, which fuel our brain. So we have to sit down and look at this and make sure that we're getting enough fat. But a lot of people spend all their time working on getting the fat in that they forget I need protein. And especially, once again, us over 60, you know, because what happens is is that our body begins to break down muscle as we age, especially over the age of 60. We begin to break down muscle mass. So we got to preserve our muscle mass because we need strong muscles to keep us able to keep our balance and to walk and not to fall. Who wants a broken hip? You know what I'm saying? Who wants to be in the hospital having a hip replaced because they've lost their muscle and all of a sudden they're in this issue? We need to retain our muscle mass. So we need to make sure that we're getting plenty of protein. You know, we want to get good fats, so we want to make sure we're getting fat, but we also want to make sure that we're getting in a decent amount of proteins. 0.8 to 1 gram of protein for every pound of ideal body weight. And I think I did this in a prior video. If you weigh 135, if your ideal body weight is 135 pounds, then you'll want about 135 grams of protein a day at the most, or at the least about 108 grams of protein a day. If you stay in that range, you should be in pretty good shape. And if we take to that, and while we're doing it, and we add a little bit of resistance training, you know, we'll be able to maintain our muscles and be able to go into life in our older years in a lot better shape. And then here's the third one. And this third one is so important. And I think I just did a video on this a while back. And I wanted to throw this in again because this is just how important, is that we expect instant results. You know why? Because we get on social media and we see on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and TikTok and wherever else you're looking, and we see these transformation stories about how people lost a ton of weight really quick with a ketogenic diet. And it's possible. It really is possible. But the problem is that those are younger people. And we being older people, our metabolisms are a little slower and things work a little different. So we have to adjust our expectations. You know, we're going to get so many benefits you are out of this ketogenic diet. You know, reduced inflammation. My digestive system is about the best it's been in forever, it seems like. You're going to see less fatigue. You're going to have that energy boost. Your joints are going to feel good. There are so many benefits beyond just some weight loss. But weight loss is one of the benefits. But make sure you dial your expectations in and realize, now wait a minute, I'm 50, 60, 70, whatever. And make sure you understand that it may be a little slower, but you're going to be seeing results in a lot of areas. And sometimes, and I know this is an old cliche, it seems like, and maybe you hear it too much, but a lot of times, this even goes for younger people too, is that sometimes you'll notice a difference because you're having those non-scale victories. Your clothes are fitting better. You're losing inches, maybe not pounds, you know? You have to take these things into consideration. Plus that, who doesn't want to have more energy and have less joint pain and inflammation? So you have to look at these and understand that it's going to take time. So set your expectations. That gets back to number one. You know, maybe start out a little slower and work your way up. You know, don't start out walking on day one, but maybe give it a week or two and then incorporate some walking. Maybe go a couple more weeks, incorporate some weight training, but don't expect everything to happen overnight. You know, we're not 30 anymore. We're not 20 anymore. So have realistic expectations. Anyway, if you're over 60, just don't rush it. Eat enough and give it time and it'll work out. Tell me how you're doing. Where are you at on your ketogenic diet? Did you take time starting out or did you just jump right in at 20? Have you had any dehydration problems? Get out there in the comment and let me know how it's going. Anyway, until the next time, I'm Grandpa Keto.